will now begin.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's kind of late out here in General Santos City in the Philippines. We're at Manny Pacquiao's compound. He's training with 4 weeks to go. It'll be Manny Pacquiao defending his WBO Welterweight Championship title against undisputed Junior Welterweight Chris Algieri. It'll be November 22 at the Venetian Macau, live on pay-per-view, starting at 9 p.m. East Coast time, 6 p.m. West Coast time. Manny went 8 rounds today with Mike Jones and with Victor Postal sparring. I know training's going very well. He's ahead of schedule. We'll let Freddie Roach, who's here with us, as well as Manny, talk to you about training in a few minutes. But to get the call started, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Hall of Fame promoter, Bob Arum. Bob?
Hey, good to be here. Thank you all for getting up so early in the morning. It's getting late here. It's 9 o'clock at night in General Santos. As Fred said, the training has been going extraordinarily well. I know that everybody who's watched Chris Algieri train in New York and now in Las Vegas talks about how good his training has been. I look forward to a tremendous fight on November 22nd.
Freddie, how about a few words from you, how training camp's going and your expectations for the fight?
Well, we have a great training camp so far. Usually we start with mid workouts and so forth with Manny. We usually start at 4 rounds. My first day in the gym with Manny this time we went 12 rounds. Manny wasn't even breathing. We've had a great start, maybe the best start we've ever had, and sparring's been really going well. We have over 34 rounds of sparring in so far, and a little more way to go, but we got some great sparring partners with Postal, the #1 contender in the world, Mike Jones, a big 47-pounder, and we have
Victor Postal.
Victor Postal, and the third one is Matrosian from San Francisco. So we've got all guys tall. I think some guys better than our opponent, but we'll see very soon.
Manny, Mabuhay, welcome to the call. I want to say hi to everybody back in the States.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this phone call interview.
Manny, how do you feel going up against the second tallest opponent you've ever had in your career?
I'm excited to fight again with a tall opponent like Algieri. I think this is the second. No, it's not second. Been fighting now. I've been fighting a tall guy like Algieri, but I know what I'm doing, and I know what I'm gonna do in the ring.
Operator, ready to take questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask a question, please press the #1 key. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any questions at this time, please press the #1 key. A moment while our questions come into queue.
Freddie, while we're waiting for questions, what is your biggest concern with Chris Algieri?
He's a pretty good mover. He moves pretty well. He's very defensive, at least against Ruslan when I faced him last time it was. But he has the left hand and he has a good jab, and I think his jab is his best weapon and something we really have to take care of.
Our first question comes from Greg Logan with Newsday. Please go ahead.
Hi, Manny. I was wondering, we saw recently that you were playing basketball with your team in the Philippines, and some people might say that could take away from your focus on the fight and training. How do you see that? Is that something that in any way benefits your preparation?
it will not affect to my training because it's Sunday when I play in basketball, and Sunday it's no training. So it's good also. Basketball is good also to help footwork and balancing. It helps a lot, and that's why I always that's why I always in shape even if I don't have a fight because I always play basketball.
Okay. And could I just follow up one other thing? Algieri has made some comments that suggest he's very confident of his ability to defeat you despite the difference in experience. Have you paid much attention to that, and what do you think of it?
I know his feelings, but I'm also confident that I'm going to win the fight in Jesus' name. And, he's doing his best in training, and I'm doing my best in training. So the result is going to be a good fight.
Thank you.
Greg, I don't know if you heard Bob say it, but that last game that Manny played, that's the only basketball game he's playing during training camp.
Okay, I did not hear that. Thank you.
Yep.
Our next question comes from Tom Padula in the New York Times. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, Manny and Freddie, to some people it might seem as if Algieri has come from nowhere. Does he deserve your respect? Is he a worthy opponent at this stage?
Well, he's beat Ruslan Bernabikov, one of the toughest guys out there, one of the best punchers in the world. He got off the deck twice. He showed a lot of heart. He definitely deserves to be there, and it's going to be a great fight. That's why we're training so hard for this fight. We have such good sparring partners because we're not taking him lightly at all.
Manny, if I may ask you that?
The same of Freddie's opinion. We're not taking lightly for this fight, and he deserved for this fight because of what he saw and what he proved in Ruslan's fight.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Our next question comes from Mitch Abramson with the New York Daily News. Please go ahead.
Hey guys, good morning. Hey Manny, I had a question. Do you plan on continuing to coach your basketball team leading up to the fight?
No, right now I have an assistant coach and coaching staff to handle the basketball team, and I'm very focused right now in my training. And after the fight, I will come back to the team and focus for being head coach of the team.
And I mean, just talk about Manny playing in your first professional basketball game. What was that like? And I mean, obviously you have a big fight coming up, and just talk about if you were at all worried about getting injured.
It's good. It's good experience to play in a professional basketball game like that. And I didn't play long. I just played for to make encouragement to my team. That's why we won the first game. So it's a history in basketball in the Philippines that the rookie and the first team is we won the first game. So it's good.
Mitch wanted to know, what was your feeling going into that game? How excited were you to play?
I feel very excited and honored because it's first time that in basketball of the Philippines opening, it's more than 52,000 audience.
And then great. And then Bob, I wanted to ask you. I mean, when you found out that Manny had played in a professional basketball game, what was the reaction? Were you worried for his health?
Well, I found out that he was playing before he played, and I wasn't a very happy camper. Professional basketball, no matter where the country is that you play, is a rugged sport, and a player can turn an ankle very, very easily. These players, the NBA players, are fantastic physical specimens, and yet they get injured all the time. So an injury would have really wreaked havoc with the fight. So I was not very pleased. But everybody's assured us, Manny has assured Freddie, Freddie has assured me that that's it. I mean, after he does the fight on November 22nd, if he wants to try out for the New York Knicks, that's okay with me.
They could use a plug right now, actually. Manny, last question, Manny. Manny, what do you enjoy more doing? I mean, just do you enjoy playing basketball more than you do boxing?
I'm enjoying in boxing, but my cross training aside from boxing is basketball. That's why in my house there's a basketball court, so that's my cross training aside from boxing, so to keep in shape. And I also like basketball.
All right, thanks guys, and good luck.
Thanks, Fish.
Our next question comes from Dan Raphael with ESPN. Please go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, Manny, I know this has come up in some of the pre-fight stuff before your recent fights, but, it's been a while since you've had the knockout, and here you are fighting against a guy that's coming up in weight, a guy that was knocked down 2 times and had his face busted up by Provodnikov. You're a lot faster than Ruslan. I mean, it seems to me that this might be the perfect fight where you could, get a knockout for the first time in a while. Can you give me your thoughts about that? And Freddie, I'm interested in your take also after Manny gives his answer.
We cannot, we cannot control the fight. It's not the fight is not all the same. We have different opponents, so different result of the fight. But what we're doing right now is to get back the hungriness and the focus and the killer instinct that the people want to see.
Would it make you... Oh, go ahead, Freddie. Sorry.
Well, we run into some big sparring partners, and, that's why Mike Jones is really a good puncher and so forth, and Manny's doing really well with him, and he's doing some good shots, too. He's heard him a couple times in training camp already, and he's shown good power so far, and he's shown the intensity that I want. That when he hurts somebody, that he opens up on them and finishes them. I told him if we get rid of a sparring partner, we just get another one. So that's training camp is going really well. We have some really good sparring partners for this fight.
Freddie, how bad do you want him to get the knockout?
I would love to see a knockout. The thing is, I think, at 47, Manny's, maybe a little bit smaller than most of the 47-pounders out there. We have to, feed him 5 times a day to make that weight. And this fight's at 44. I think this punch power will come back, and I see a knockout coming for sure.
And Manny, how about you? I mean, are you still hungry to hurt a guy when you get him in any kind of trouble? Or, we've talked about the fact that maybe you have backed off a little bit in the past. I mean, don't you want to go get this smaller guy?
I'm still hungry, and then I'm doing what I did before, what we did in wild card training. That's what we did right now, so it's good. It's good for me. It's the intensity of training, more heavy bag and meats, and plyometrics. So good.
Okay. Hey Bob, can I ask you about that also? I mean, certainly from the marketability standpoint, if there's been anybody that's maybe a little tired of buying Manny's fights, certainly a big knockout would maybe get people re-excited. Let's say. Where do you stand on that situation?
Where I stand in the situation, if somebody goes up to the plate to hit a home run, he has less chance of hitting a home run. And the guy who goes up to the plate just goes to meet the ball. The knockout comes, the knockout comes. But, to go out look for a knockout and to neglect other aspects of a fight, particularly against an intelligent fighter like Algieri, would be folly. Now, if he gets a knockout, absolutely increases the marketability. But you don't go out there looking for the knockout, because if you do, you have a chance of getting it than if you fight your normal fight.
Okay, very good, Bob. Just one more question for you. Can you briefly explain how come you decided to go back to China for this fight after, you did one fight and then you came back to America and now you're back in China for this fight? What was the rationale? And the reason I asked that because I know after the first fight, maybe it didn't do the greatest number on pay-per-view. I heard from people, HBO, saying they were never going to go back to China to do another one, yet here they are going back to Macau to do this fight. Can you just talk about that for a minute?
Well, HBO, I'm sure, never said they'd never go back to China.
Well, they did.
Do a paper. And besides, who are they to say anything when it's my money and it's Manny's career, and we are fighting in probably the best location in the world, which is in Macau in the Cotai Arena, which is a tremendous place to watch a fight. And it's really too bad that somebody like yourself is not coming over to see why it's so desirable to fight a big fight in Macau at the Cotai Arena of the Venetian Macau Hotel. Now, that being said, I have a boxing program which features fighters like Zhao Shiming, will be on the card, other fighters, and they said to me they wanted Manny to fight there once a year. So obviously, if Manny's going to fight twice a year, he fights there in the fall, and in the spring, he fights either in the United States or some other place.
Okay. Thank you very much, Manny and Freddie. Thank you, and good luck to everybody.
Thanks, Dan.
Our next question comes from Mr. Mike Wood.
Hey, Mike.
One moment. Mr. Woods, would you please press the number 1 key again? He seems to have left the queue. All right, Mr. Woods with the Sweet Science, your line is now open. Go ahead with your...
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking the time to do the call. This question is for Bob. Bob, is it somewhat of a useless endeavor when we tell Manny to please don't do any distractions, don't do any hoops, don't do any of this stuff? I feel like Manny's going to be Manny. Manny's going to do what he wants to do. So is there any hesitation if we ever do say to him, please, 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 concentrate on boxing only?
No, that's not the way it happened. When Manny said that he was going to play in the opening game of his team, I didn't say anything because Manny had decided that he wanted to do that, and that was done. But then once that happened, I talked with him, and he agreed that he wouldn't do it anymore until after. That's how it works when you're dealing in an environment with all adults.
Right. In some sports, you would get a language in the contract saying you can't do that stuff. I think it speaks to your decency and the relationship that you have that you don't do that. But have you ever considered that, putting a clause in the contract saying you can't do any risky things? And playing basketball is a risky thing. You can break an ankle or something like that. Have you ever considered that?
I put it in contract with certain of our fighters who were motorcycle guys and did a lot of crazy things. So there we did definitely put it in the contract. But with Manny, you're absolutely right. We have a different kind of relationship, one based on mutual respect and mutual trust. And so we wouldn't put it in the contract because we expect that he'll do the right.
That makes good sense. Question quick for Manny. Manny, we're talking about basketball a whole lot. So my question is, who is better, you think, at basketball, you or Floyd Mayweather?
I don't want to compare myself, but Freddie said me. Freddie
said you.
One way to figure that one out.
All right, let's book it. Book the court. Pay-per-view. Basketball. Pacquiao against Mayweather. Thanks a lot, guys. Be well.
Our next question comes from Mark Whitaker with the LA Daily News, Los Angeles Daily News. Go ahead.
Bob, what is the reasonable expectation for the pay-per-view numbers for this fight, in your opinion?
Well, I think we did quite well going back to last November. We did 475,000 buys for Brandon Rios' fight. For a fight that took place outside the country, I thought that was a great number. Now, with Chris Algieri getting the type of publicity that he is getting, which we never had before. For example, I don't remember ever, I'm sure in the Ali days it was different, but I don't remember recently ever a fight getting an article in the New Yorker magazine the way this one has in this week's New Yorker. So, and for example, if you ask people who watch Fox Business News, where Algieri has been on numerous occasions, which fighter they do better, Chris Algieri or say Tim Bradley, they would say Chris Algieri. So while it's true that among fight fans, Algieri may not be as well known as an established guy, say, as Tim Bradley, among the general public, more of the public know now Algieri than they do most fighters. And therefore, I think we're going to do a number akin to what we did in a Tim Bradley fight, which is anywhere between 750,000 and 900,000 price.
Mm-hmm. Also, I know Lomachenko's on this card, and those of us who were in Carson the other night saw Walters. If Lomachenko gets past this one, what's the likelihood of him fighting Walters?
For me, I would think that Walters did extraordinarily well, obviously, on Saturday, beating Donaire. And I've always thought that Lomachenko is a special talent and one of the greatest fighters around. So it would be silly if they didn't fight sometime next year. But Lomachenko, really, this is only his fourth professional fight. He's fighting a Thai guy, hasn't lost in 8 years, and has 51 wins and 1 defeat, something like that. He lost 8 years ago to Chris John, the long-reigning featherweight champion. And of the guy's 51 or 52 victories, 50 of them have been by knockout. So Lomachenko has his work cut out for him. Believe me, his fight on November 22nd is hardly a gimmick. The guy deserves, the Thai guy deserves his #1 ranking. And so that should be a very, very good fight. But yes, if Lomachenko is successful, I would anticipate making a fight between Lomachenko and Walters sometime next year.
One for Freddie. I know that the way that Manny has looked against Rios and Bradley, it seems like he's had a little bit of a revival even. What do you attribute that to?
Well, his condition and his training has been really good, and training here in General Santos is really good for him. He's really comfortable. We have a really nice gym here, and his family's here, and his home's here. So I think he's more at ease with it. He doesn't have to worry about his family so much. And we've got great sparring partners. And this camp is the best sparring partners we've ever had. And they're going to get him on top of his game.
What's Postal done for him in the gym?
Well, Postal's got a great jab. He's tall. He's taller than Algieri, and he's rated #1. He's a little bit, he's very smart. And I see Manny having a little trouble with him, and it's more of a thinking match out there. Who's going to pull the right move off at the right time? So it really makes Manny think, and that's something Algieri will do also, and that's what we're getting ready for.
Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Our next question comes from George Willis with the New York Post. Please go ahead.
Good evening, those of you in the Philippines. First, a couple for Freddie. You mentioned earlier in this call that some of the sparring opponents might be better, your sparring partners might be better than your opponent. Why do you think that might be the case? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hey, we must have lost him for a second. We're going to call him right back right now. So, hang tight. Oh, Mary? Okay.
TstreeT Controversy Live, Real Combat Media.
Speakers will be right back with you. Please hold for just a moment.
Yeah, they were actually all on one line. So when we lost one, we lost them all. But we're calling back now.
Okay, Mr. Willis, this is the conference operator. We have him back. If you could repeat your question, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
George?
Yeah, George, we did.
Okay.
We hear you.
Okay. Freddie, earlier in the call, said some of his sparring partners might be better than the opponent. I'd just like Freddie to elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, Polsky is a very good fighter, very difficult fighter. He's taller than Algieri. He has better left hand than Algieri. But Algieri is a solid guy also. I mean, I'm giving both guys are very good guys, and I think we get the best sparring partner we could possibly get for the fight.
So, George, you don't see that as a slight against Algieri that he may not be, the best guy Manny competes with?
Well, Coastal's number one contender. Algieri's a world champion. They're both great fighters. I mean, and sometimes the truth hurts.
And the point was, you can't get a better sparring partner if you're preparing for Algieri than Postal. Postal he has all of the physical attributes that resemble Algieri.
And Freddie, in the Ruslan fight, you kept asking for him to throw the uppercut. He never really did. Do you see that as a punch that could be effective for Manny as well in this fight?
Well, I think, Wilson's style created that a little bit, so it depends, how many style and his really mixed together. So I really can't guess at that yet, but the uppercut was there for him in that fight, and, Wilson just got caught up and looking for the one-punch KO instead of letting his hands go into a combination. So, but I still think it was very competitive in that fight. It was a very close fight, and I think that Manny Pacquiao is a much more experienced, better fighter than Wilson at this point.
And do you think you talked about the knockout power returning because of the weight for this fight? Why does it make so much of a difference when 2, 3, 4 pounds?
Well, when you're fighting a 47-pounder and you're only weighing 135 yourself, or 140 yourself, you're in there against bigger, stronger guys, and this. Manny only has 2 knockouts as a welterweight, but the thing is, he has a lot of knockouts at 135 and 140, and the thing is, this fight's at a catch weight of 44, and possibly if he feels good at 144, we might go to 140 again, and I think at 140, it will be a better puncher than it will be at 47, because the guys are smaller and not as strong.
Okay. And one question for Manny. You're going to be fighting close to Hong Kong, and I'm wondering if you've been monitoring the events there, the demonstrations that have been taking place, and what is your opinion about that?
The fight is in Macau. It's not in Hong Kong. So there is no problem in Macau. So the problem is in Hong Kong. So it will not bother to the fight.
But what are your general thoughts? You're a politician, and you've got people in the streets fighting for democracy. Just your general thoughts about that. Not that it's going to affect the fight, but just your personal thoughts about that.
Well, it's hard to give a comment about that because it's a big issue, and then I have, if I may give a comment for that, is I have to study and what's the reason why they want a democracy or anything what the people want and the government want. So it's hard to give a comment as a politician. Maybe I say not to comment that before to know anything.
All right, thank you very much.
Hey, George.
The next question comes from Greg Logan at Newsday. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, I wanted to follow up with Freddie about the sparring partners. You mentioned that Postal's left hand is better than Algieri's, and how that's the weapon you have to try to neutralize. How often do you see do you face a really good jab where a guy really works off it and is effective behind it? How effective is Algieri's jab?
It's a great jab. I mean, jab is the best punch in boxing. I mean, you guys like Welterweight, Larry Holmes won world titles with the jab. So, it's something we really have to concentrate on. We have to really take that jab away from him. And we have a good game plan on how to do that. And the thing is, we're working on it every day, and that's why Postal was brought in, because he has a very good jab like Algieri, and he's, again, a little bit taller than Algieri, so he has a little more of a reach, but it'll give us a good idea of what to expect in the fight.
Okay. And then I also wanted to ask Manny, Algieri said that he felt that Tim Bradley in the last fight spent too much time looking for the knockout because he watched Juan Manuel Marquez's right over the left, and that and that he lost focus on anything else. What have you done to avoid that punch, after suffering the knockout?
First, it's not my first time. It's not the first time that it happened to me like that, like the Marcus fight. Mm-hmm. I've been, I've experienced that before, and I know what I'm gonna do, and I know what I'm gonna do in the fight for this fight. And we studied hard and we practiced hard in the gym, different techniques and different style, different strategy, and I believe that we can use it in the fight. So nothing to worry about that. I know they're gonna look that fight. They're gonna watch that fight. They're gonna review that fight, and I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna do.
Okay, and just one last thing for me. When you have to get past a good jab and a long reach, do you at some point have to expose yourself, or can you get inside without exposing yourself too much?
I think I have a better way if he throws a lot of jabs, and I have I can move faster than him. So I don't to worry. I'm not worried about that.
Okay, and Freddie, are you? What about how would you react to that question?
The thing is, Manny is a lot faster. Algieri has some speed, but he doesn't have any knockout speed.
Okay, thank you very much.
Please bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, as I reconnect the speakers.
Can you hear us?
For your patience, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Our next question comes from Andreas Hale with Ring. Please go ahead.
Hey, Freddie, I got a question for you. Going back to the Provodnikov fight with Algieri, did either you or Provodnikov, do you think you kind of underestimated Algieri to a certain degree? And when did you realize that, that Algieri was going to be a lot tougher than anticipated against Provodnikov, maybe when he peeled himself off the canvas? Did anything about Algieri surprise that fight?
Well, he was a big puncher and getting off the canvas twice, chance to get knocked down was a great thing for him to do. Then his eye was really damaged in that fight also. But, Wilson is a good puncher, but he just got caught up in looking for that one-punch knockout. And I think that was the downfall of in that fight for us. But, the thing is, I think Manny's a much more experienced fighter, much clever fighter, and a lot more combinations, a lot faster, and not as big as a one-punch knockout artist, but it can hurt you when he wants to.
With that being said, was it better for you to actually see Algieri up close in person with Provodnikov rather than not being in Provodnikov's corner? Does that kind of help you a great deal preparing Manny for this fight?
No, I don't think so because Manny and Muslim are so different. I think it's a whole different fight, and seeing him up close, and I've been watching tapes still on his career and so forth. I've been watching one of his kickboxing matches and so forth. So, but he's a strong guy. He showed a lot of heart getting off his deck twice. He comes to fight. So that's what we're getting ready for.
Thank you, guys.
And our final question comes from Tom Padula with the New York Times. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Bob, if I might ask you, if Chris Algieri could win this fight, what could the future be like for Chris Algieri?
If Chris Algieri were to win this fight, what would his future be?
Well, let me first put it on the legal level. If Algieri wins the fight, there's a provision in the contract that he must give Manny Pacquiao a rematch. So I think that if he does pull off the upset and win, I'm sure Manny would want revenge, and so that would be Algieri's next fight. And then, we'd have to see what develops along the line. But Algieri is one of the most confident fighters that I've run across. He's convinced everybody that he's talked to because he believes in it himself that he is prepared to give the fight of his life against Manny. He's very, very intelligent. He knows what he's doing in the ring. This is going to be a very, very competitive fight.
What about commercially, Bob? What would that victory mean to Algieri?
Well, commercially, obviously, if you beat somebody like Manny Pacquiao, it means tremendous amount, particularly somebody who is so media-friendly and so crowd-friendly like Algieri. He would be an instant, huge attraction in the sport of boxing.
You good, Tom?
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're going to wrap this call up. Manny, any final statements?
Thank you, everyone, for this interview, for everybody, and thank you to all the fans. Please watch this fight. It's coming November 22nd, live on pay-per-view. Thank you. God bless.
Freddie?
We get to hit the road at 5 a.m. Good night.
Bob, you get the last word.
Well, okay, I'm going to sleep a little later so I can then talk to you guys for the next hour. But I'm not going to. Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.